So this is where we are in the story.
God made a perfect world.
But people messed it up. They didn't always love God or each other.
But God had a plan to rescue them.
And a guy named Daniel got to be a part of it. Daniel was also a slave. Remember, God's special people weren't always liked by everybody. Daniel really loved God. He talked to God. And God talked to him, too. God still talks to people. And Daniel listened. We can do that, too. God helped Daniel understand things other people couldn't. And Daniel helped the king with the king's problems. And that made the king like Daniel a lot. He made Daniel his #1 helper
and put him in charge of lots of other people.
That made some people jealous. So they tried to get him in trouble. They were always watching, trying to catch him doing something wrong. But they couldn't.
They saw him pray every day,
3 times a day.
And they realized,
dun, dun, dun. If praying was against the rules, they'd be sure to get Daniel in trouble.
So the no good guys tricked the king.
And he made a rule.
Hear ye, hear ye.
His name was King Darius.
You can't pray to anyone but me.
So if anyone was caught praying to someone other than the king, they'd be thrown into a pit with lions. Hungry ones! Roar! Now usually, it's a good idea to obey the rules. But when Daniel heard this rule, he knew he couldn't obey it. So he kept right on praying to God, doing what he'd always done, 3 times a day, even if it meant he would become lion food.
Pretty soon they saw Daniel praying.
And when they did, they told the king, which made him really sad. See, Daniel was one of his favorite helpers, and the king didn't want the lions to hurt him. But he had made a rule, and he couldn't change it. But before he sent Daniel to the lions, he prayed.
God, please rescue Daniel from the lions.
The next morning, no one expected Daniel to be alive. But when the king went to check on him,
Daniel, has God rescued you?
Daniel said, yes! Woohoo! Yay!
Cowabunga!
An angel had closed the lion's mouth, and Daniel didn't have a scratch on him. Nada. The king made a new rule.
Everyone will pray to Daniel's God.
And soon, just like God rescued Daniel,
he will rescue everyone else with a very special hero.
But that's another part of the story.
God saved Daniel from the lions, Daniel from the lions, Daniel from the lions, Daniel from the lions.